Each day, the world uses tons and tons of energy resources, such as fossil fuel for coal, oil, and natural gas. Well, these resources are finite and can take up to millions of years in order to be replenished. So it's important that we make use of what we have, right? Not only that, but the use of these natural resources can negatively impact our surrounding environments and the world.
These natural resources can potentially lead to the pollution of water, air, land, and etc. These can come from the smog from coal-fired plants, heated water released from power plants that can affect aquatic life, oil spills that contaminate oceans and rivers, climate change due to greenhouse gases, and so many others. So it's quite important to preserve and limit the use of these energy resources.
But let's look at it from a bigger picture. If we continue to use these energy resources without care, we're not just depleting resources, but we are also endangering our future generations. Can you guys imagine a world without scars due to the amount of polluted, unclean water? Where we can no longer grow crops due to the infestation of the soil, where breathing becomes a daily problem due to the pollution of the air?
This is a constant problem we're slowly marching towards too. But alas, we can do something about it. Each and every one of us has the power to make a difference. We're not only protecting the planet, but ourselves, our family and loved ones, and the future generations that have yet to come.
My group may not be experts, but we've seen how important our natural resources are in our everyday living. Like in our house, we do simple things like turning off light, using small amount of water, and even planting a tiniest little plant in our backyard. But when we started research more about energy, soil, and water, we realized how limited the resources are. That's why everyone should believe it's something all of us should care about, not just ourselves, but for our next generation as well.
We will focus on three important things that we need to take care of: energy, water, and soil. So, first, we will talk about energy and how using it wisely can help our planet. Next, we look at water, which is something we all need to survive, but it is often wasted every day. And lastly, we will talk about soil, which gives us food but is now facing many problems. By the end of this talk, you will see that even the smallest action we do each day can help save these resources for the future.
Well, to start things off, what are energy resources? Energy resources are natural resources that have the ability to provide power for electricity, heating, and other human activities. We have two types of energy resources: renewable and non renewable.
Let's start off with renewable resources are. Renewable resources come from natural resources that can be replaced very easily or won't run out. These resources can come from the sun, hydropower, or wind thermals. However, non-renewable resources come from natural resources that can run out or can take up to millions of years in order to be replenished. Examples such as coal for fossil fuels and oil.
So the question remains, why should we preserve the natural resources that we have when we have access to renewable resources? Well, first of all, natural resources are finite and will eventually run out. We have to continue to preserve them because our renewable resources depend on a healthy ecosystem, such as clean water for hydropower or fertile soil for biomass. Overusing resources can harm the environment and reduce the effectiveness of renewable energy in the long run.
Now let's talk about how to properly utilize our renewable resources. An example is energy management, which can come from different kinds of technologies such as solar power, wind energy, hydrothermal energy, and different more. These all use different elements such as the sun, wind, and power in order to produce electricity. This can significantly decrease the use of natural resources such as coal, oil, and fossil fuels.
Water. is one of the most important things we need every day, but many people still waste it. If we keep on wasting water, there will be less clean water for us to drink, cook, and use in daily life. Plants and animals also need water, so if it becomes dirty, they will also suffer. When there is not enough, people can get sick, and farmers cannot grow crops well. That's why we should not waste water because it is finite, and once it's gone, life will be harder for everyone. We can also utilize the use of hydropower, which can generate electricity based on the movements of water that comes from rivers or dams.
Next is soil. Why is it important? Soil is a vital natural resource that underpins most life on Earth. It provides essential ecosystem services, including nutrient cycling, water filtration, and habitat for vast array of organisms. And we people just use it to dump garbages. Instead of planting trees, using it for agriculture, providing the medium for plant growth and food production. And we need to realize that soil is important because it plays a crucial role in climate regulation by storing carbon and influencing temperature.
Waste management is also important because it helps us reduce pollution and minimize the risk of contracting disease that may compromise our health. Having proper waste management also contributes to our environment by conserving natural resources and helps our community stay clean and safe from any possible diseases. As we end the talk today, let us remind you of all we have covered. Each year, tons and tons of energy resources are used, which can have a significant effect on environment such as pollution and climate change.
It is important we limit their use of and start using renewable resources instead. Not only because of the convenience, but also because of the effect it has on our environment today. We explored how our world depends on energy resources, why protecting natural resources matters, and how even simple solutions like the use of natural fertilizers can make a big difference.
Earlier, we started this speech with the question: where does our energy really come from, and how can we use it wisely? Now, we see that the answer not only lies in the factual information that comes from science, but also from the choices we make each day.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up this speech, let us tell you something. If we can understand and act on these simple scientific facts, then we have the power to build a future that is sustainable, responsible, and filled with possibilities. Let us work together to build a future environment for us and the future generations.